रञ्जन जामुनतीरवनचारी जय जामुनतीरवनचारी
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय पंचतत्व पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद Śrīla Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanande. Readings from Srimad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 1, first step in God realization. Today we will see verse number 8. But before we get into the verse, we will chant the auspicious invocation prayers. I will chant, please try to repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsadevāya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vāsadevāya. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखातमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvāparayanaद aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्म-संहितं adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād aham। Okay. Let's see the word to word. Idaṁ, this, Bhagavatam, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, nāma, of the name, purāṇaṁ, Vedic supplement, brahma-sammitam, approved as the essence of Vedas, adhītavān, studied, dvāpara-ādau, at the end of Dvāpara-yuga, pitur, from my father, dvaipāyanād, Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva, aham, myself. Translation and purport by his founder Acharya Divine Grace Abhay Charananda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki. Translation, please try to repeat. At the end of Dvāpara-yuga, I have studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas, from my father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva. Purport. The statement made by Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī that the topmost transcendentalist, who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulations and restrictions, mainly takes to the task of hearing about and glorifying the personality of Godhead, is verified by his personal example. Śukadeva Gosvāmī, being a recognized liberated soul and the topmost transcendentalist, was accepted by all of the topmost sages present in the meeting during the last 7 days of Parīkṣit Mahārāja. He cites from the example of his life that he himself was attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord, and he studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from his great father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, or for that matter, any other scientific literature, cannot be studied at home by one's own intellectual capacity. Medical books of anatomy or physiology are available in the market, but no one can become a qualified medical practitioner simply by reading such books at home. One has to be admitted to the medical college and study the books under the guidance of learned professors. Similarly, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, can only be learned by studying it at the feet of a realized soul like Śrīla Vyāsadeva. Although Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a liberated soul from the very day of his birth, he still had to take lessons of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from his great father, Vyasadeva, who compiled Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam under the instructions of another great soul, Śrī Nārada Muni. The Lord, Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu, instructed a learned Brahmana to study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from a personal Bhagavata. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is based on the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, entourage, and the variegatedness of the Supreme Person, and it is spoken by the incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Śrīla Vyāsadeva. Pastimes of the Lord are executed in cooperation with his pure devotees, and consequently, historical incidences are mentioned in this great literature because they are related to Kṛṣṇa. It is called brahma-sammitam because it is the sound representative of Lord Kṛṣṇa, like Bhagavad-gītā. Bhagavad-gītā is the sound incarnation of the Lord because it is spoken by the Supreme Lord, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the sound representative of the Lord because it is spoken by the incarnation of the Lord about the activities of the Lord. As stated in the beginning of this book, it is the essence of the Vedic desire tree and the natural commentation on Brahma-sūtras, the topmost philosophical thesis on the subject matter of Brahman. Vyasadeva appeared at the end of Dvāpara-yuga as the son of Satyavati, and therefore the word dvāpara-ādau, or the beginning of Dvāpara-yuga, in this context means just prior to the beginning of Kali-yuga. The logic of this statement, according to Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī, is comparable to that of calling the upper portion of the tree the beginning. The root of the tree is the beginning of the tree, but in common knowledge, the upper portion of the tree is seen first. In that way, the end of the tree is accepted as its beginning. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Śrī Caitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Caitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namah Vishnudaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Jayapata Gosvāmī Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayine Gaurakata Damadaya Nagaragrantarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangayate Grimit Kripatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Caitanya Ishwaram Kathanchana Smrite Yasmin Dushkaram Sukaram Bhavet Smrite Paritam Syat Shri Caitanyam Namamitam. Hare Krishna. Idaṁ bhāgavatam nāma purāṇaṁ brahma-sammitam adhītavān dvāpara-ādau pitur dvaipāyanād. At the end of Dvāpara-yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is equal to all Vedas from my father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva. So, here, in the end of the first canto, Parīkṣit Maharaj has put some very important question in front of Śrīla Śukadeva Gosvāmī. He has asked him that what is the duty of a dying man, what he should hear, what he should chant, and what he should remember. And he has also asked him what he should not hear, what he should not chant, and what he should not remember. So, it's a very important question because everyone is going to die. There is no doubt about it. Nobody has any doubt that whether I will die or whether I will not die. In Bhagavad-gītā it is said, Jātasya hi dhruva mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Means that when we are born, there is only one thing which is sure. That is, one day we will die. That is 100% sure. Rest of everything is not sure. That what we may become, how much education we may have, how much money we may have, what kind of arrangement we may have in this material world to maintain this body, none of these things is sure. But one thing is 100% sure, that we will leave this body one day. As much as we gain this body, so much it is sure that we will leave this body one day. Therefore, it is important for everyone to understand that what is the duty of a dying man, because everyone is a dying man, dying woman, whatever it is. So, in this connection, this question is of prime importance. Therefore, the moment he heard this question, Śukadeva Gosvāmī, he glorified this question. He said, Varyanesha prashnaha. Oh, very important question you have asked. And Krito lokahitam nripa. This question is not going to do only good for you, it is going to do good for the whole world, because everybody in this world is going to die. So, if one understands what is the duty of a dying man, then that is for the benefit of everyone. Atmavit sammatam pumsam. This question is approved by all transcendentalists who know the difference between matter and spirit. They are called Atmavit. Atmavid means those who are expert in the subject matter of self. What is that expertise? That expertise is to understand that the spirit soul is eternally the servant of Krishna. He is meant to be in loving exchange, in loving relationship with Krishna, but due to his ignorance, he has entered this material world and accepted this body, which is completely alien to him. He has no connection with this body. Body and soul, they are like water and oil. They don't mix together. But he has accepted it. He has accepted it as his own identity. Why he accepted? Simply out of ignorance. He accepted it. So Atmavit is a person who understands this very, very clearly. Yes, I have accepted out of ignorance this body, but this body has got nothing to do with me. Even though this body has got nothing to do with me, still it is a facility which is available to me. And with this facility, I can try to catch the lotus feet of Krishna. I can do that. Instead of simply utilizing this facility for what is available by the passage of time. This was instructed by Nārada Muni to Vyāsadeva. He said that tasaiva heto prayateta kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha. Uparyadaha means going up and down. Whatever can be got, one should not just run behind that. Why? Tal labhyate dukkhavatanyata sukam kalena sarvatra gabiraram hasa. Simply by passage of time, just like misery comes without working for it, happiness will also come without working for it. So don't worry too much about material happiness. Don't think that by working you can get material happiness. This is the biggest illusion. I am working for my happiness. Nobody can work for their happiness. People are thinking, oh, I have a big degree, I will earn a lot of money, I will become very happy, or I am a big businessman, I will earn a lot of money, I will become happy. No, nobody became happy. By having position, power, name, fame, nobody became happy. Everybody became miserable. And finally, everybody died. Big, big men, without any trace, they died. And then some other so-called big man came, and he is jumping up and down, and he will also die without any trace. So therefore, Nārada Muni told Vyāsadeva that this is intelligence, that utilize this perishable body to get the imperishable position. Imperishable position. That is intelligence. And the person who knows this is called Atmavid. And they approve this question. Atmavid sammatam pumsa. They approve this question. And this is the topmost subject matter of hearing. Shrotavyadishu yat paraha. This is the topmost subject matter of hearing. But the question is, what is that subject matter? What is that subject matter? That subject matter is Bhagavatam. Idaṁ Bhagavatam nāma. Purāṇaṁ brahma-sammitam. Uttama shloka charitam. Chakara bhagavan rishihi. Nishreyasaya lokasya dhanyam swastyayanam mahat. It's all successful, all blissful, all perfect. Dhanyam swastyayanam. So this Bhagavatam is the most auspicious. Why it is most auspicious? Why not some other thing? Why not we read some other thing, some other literature? Why? Because all that literature, except Bhagavatam, it simply deals with what is perishable or what is not permanent. So what is the use of dealing with something which is what is perishable and what is not permanent? Bhagavad-gītā, Kṛṣṇa tells that who is an intelligent person? Who is an intelligent person? There are 2-3 definitions in Bhagavad-gītā about who is an intelligent person. But one definition which Kṛṣṇa gives about who is an intelligent person is a person who does not take pleasure in something which is perishable. Yahi samsparshaja bhoga dukkhayo na yevate adi antavanta kaunteya na teshu ramate buddhaha. That intelligent person does not take pleasure in something perishable. He knows that if I try to take pleasure in what is perishable, then I have to simply face misery, because that pleasure-giving substance, it will be there today, tomorrow it will not be there. Anything and everything in this material world, it is there today, tomorrow it is not there. So therefore, intelligent person does not take pleasure in what is perishable. So intelligence means to understand that we should simply understand that which is permanent, which is eternal. And therefore, the literature that deals with eternality, is the topmost literature. Shrotavyādishu yat paraha. So one may say that, okay, let us reject karma kanda. Krishna also says in Bhagavad-gītā, reject karma kanda. Ya imam pushpitam vācam pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavādarata partha nānyatasti iti vādinaha. These fellows, they are not very intelligent. They are simply attracted by the pious activities of karma kanda, which is promising them, let's go to heaven, let's have a nice time, let's dance with the apsaras, let's drink somabana, surabana. There's nothing better than this. Na anyat asti iti vadinaha. There's nothing better than this. Let's do it. Karma kanda is telling them, this is the aim of life. Just do it. But they are not very intelligent. They are not very intelligent because the so-called life in Swarga, it will get finished. Shine punye mrityulokam vishanti. Brahma bhuvana loke punaravartino arjuna. So many statements are there. Not very intelligent. Let's reject karma kanda. What about jnana kanda? Very nice. Aham brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am not this body. Brahma satya, jagat mithya. So many things are there about permanence. So why not jnana kanda? Why not accept jnana kanda as something which is superior? Definitely it is superior. Definitely it is better to accept that we are not this body, we are spiritual substance. But the problem with jnana kanda is like crossing half the well. Suppose if one has to cross a deep dark well, and then if he says that I am very successful, I have crossed half the well, does it work? Does it work? Half the well we have crossed. Please give me 50% mark. I have crossed half the well. So what is the position of a person who is crossing half the well? He'll fall into it. He cannot claim, I have climbed half the well, I am great, I am so great, I have climbed half the well. No. Whether you cross half the well or 90% of the well or 99% of the well, still you have to fall down. Ye anye aravindaksha vimukta maninaha. Vimukta maninaha. Bhagavatam very nicely says, vimukta maninaha. Vimukta maninaha means that these fellows, these jnanis, they are thinking, oh, I am liberated. I am liberated. Toyi yasta bhavat avishuddha buddhayaha. But their consciousness is not clean. It's not clean. Because their consciousness is not clean, what is the dirt sitting in their consciousness? That's explained in the last line. What is the dirt sitting in their consciousness? But before that, the consequence is explained. Aruha krichrena parampadam adaha. That they are sitting in their very high assumed position. Oh, I am jnani. I know what is the truth. These fellows, karmis and vikarmis, they are simply rotting in material existence. I know the truth. I am the knower of the truth. Aham brahmasmi. I have understood that I am Brahman. And he is sitting in his assumed superior position. Assumed superior position. So what happens to him? Patanti ādau. From that assumed superior position, he falls down. Why does he fall down? What is wrong with him? He understood he had not this body. He understood that this world is not of substance. He has given up sense gratification. He is trying to study Vedanta Sutra. He is trying to understand the meaning of Vedanta Sutra. He is trying to see that how to reject this material world. Neti, 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 not this, not this, not this. He is rejecting. What is wrong with this guy? Seems to be all right. Why his knowledge is not perfect? Why simply jnana? Jnana kanda is not the superior matter for hearing. Padanti ado, he will fall down. Why does he fall down? Anādrita yusmatangrayaha. Because he has no respect for the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. He has no respect for it. He thinks that I can attain the superior position by my own effort. I don't need God. Who is God? I am God. I am God. Aham brahmasmi. I am God. Hiranyakashipu is saying, I am God. Jnani is also saying, I am God. So what is the difference between Hiranyakashipu and Jnani? No difference. No difference. One fellow is a openly demoniac, other fellow is a sophisticated demon. No difference. So he has to fall down. Padanti ado anādrita usmatangrayaha. So therefore, that literature which simply teaches us to love Krishna, to fall in love with that person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of everything, Ishvara, Parama, Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anādiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam, who is the source of everything, who is the reason for everything, who is the reason of all reasons, who acts wonderfully, who is a wonderful actor, Urukrama. The Lord is called as Urukrama. Ananda Chinmaya Rasatmataya Manashu Yap Praninam Pratiphalan Sparatam Upetya Leela Itena Bhuvanani Jayatya Jashram Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Simply by his pastimes, he declares victory over all the three worlds. Simply by enacting his pastimes. In Bhagavatam, it is said, Sthiti Vaikunta Vijayaha. What is the position of the Supreme Lord? He is always victorious. Sthiti Vaikunta Vijayaha. The Lord is always victorious. Chaitanya Mahāprabhu declares, Param Vijayate Śrī Krishna Sankirtanam. The Sankirtan movement is always victorious. So therefore, who take part in Sankirtan movement, they are also victorious and very, very intelligent. Yajantihi Sumedasaha. Yagyahi Sankirtana Prayer. Yajantihi Sumedasaha. Greatly intelligent people, they join the Sankirtan movement. Even if some fool like me joins the Sankirtan movement, simply because of the good fortune of joining the Sankirtan movement, he becomes intelligent. So that is the nature of Sankirtan movement. So therefore, naturally, the subject matter of Bhagavatam is the topmost subject matter for hearing. Sanatana Goswami is saying, Asadu sadutta dayin ati nichochata kara hana muncha kadachin mam premna hit skantaro pura. Asadu sadutta dayin. What is the nature of Bhagavatam? This is the nature of Bhagavatam. A person who is asadu means a person who has no good qualities. No good qualities. Who is a rascal. He comes in touch with Srimad-Bhāgavatam. He becomes sadhu. What is sadhu? That's also explained in Bhagavatam. Titikshava, Karunika, Sukritam Sarvadehinam, Ajata Shatrava Shantaha, Sadhavo Sadhubhushanaha. A person who is simply steeped in sense gratification, who does not care for anybody, who does not care for his own self. Atmaha, a person who murders his own soul, simply for sense gratification, who is mad, madman, nunam pramatta, prakrishta rupena mattaha, completely madman. Who is certifying? Lord is certifying. The Supreme Lord is giving certificate. This person is a madman. The Lord is giving certificate. As Shabbadev, giving certificate. This person is certified madman. Why? Because he is simply looking for sense gratification and has no discrimination what he should do and what he should not do. So such a person, when he comes in contact with the pure devotee, person Bhagavata, here the purport Prabhupada is saying, that the book Bhagavatam should be learned from person Bhagavata. So when he comes with contact with such a person Bhagavata, his life changes. Mahat seva dvara mahur vimuktes. By serving him, by becoming dear to him, simply by looking at him, darshane pavitra kori. Our Narottam Das Thakur is singing that what is the glory of a pure devotee? That simply by seeing him we can be purified. Simply by sitting near him, simply by getting his association. Tulaye malave napi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavad bhakti sangasya martyanam kim utashishaha. Twice this shloka comes in Bhagavatam. Tulaye malave napi. Lava means 8/14th of a second. In case you don't know, lava means 8/14th of a second. Even that much association with a pure devotee, not even 1 second, 8/14th of a second association of a pure devotee, so powerful that it cannot be compared to liberation or going to Swarga. Na Swargam, na Punarbhavam. So what is the shelter? What is greater shelter to a person who is going to die than the association of pure devotee? So there is book Bhagavata, there is person Bhagavata. We should learn book Bhagavata from the person Bhagavata. So in our life, we have the great good fortune of having a person Bhagavata. And that person Bhagavata is His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaranda Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of this movement. He is person Bhagavata. He spent many nights he spent writing wonderful Bhaktivedanta purports without sleeping. Throughout the day, he was very active, going here and there, going all around the world, preaching Krishna consciousness, training his disciples in Krishna consciousness. And at the dead of the night, we could hear the click of his dictaphone as he spoke line after line, word after word, trying to explain the secret of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So we are very fortunate, extremely fortunate that we are able to join this wonderful movement. We are able to take advantage of his books. We are able to hear his transcendental voice explaining the secrets of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We are able to appreciate his wisdom in presenting the purports to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in line with the previous acharyas. Prabhupada himself explains that how to present Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. In the beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Prabhupada has explained very wonderful points how Bhāgavatam should be presented. It should be presented in line with the previous acharyas. It should not be presented capriciously. Whatever I want to present, that is the Bhagavatam. I read one Bhagavatam when I was a teenager. That was my first brush with Bhagavatam. I read one book. Luckily, it was a small book. It was not very big. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. In that book, everything stands for everything else. There is no Krishna. Krishna means perfect soul. There is no Dhruva. Dhruva means determination. There is no Suniti. Suniti means good intelligence. There is no Suruchi. Suruchi means sense gratification. Everything stands for everything else. That whole book explains that Bhagavatam is simply an allegory. It's an allegory to teach some moral value for the soul. The murder of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Therefore, Mahaprabhu said, Mayavada Bhashya Surile Haya Sarvanasha. For a long time I was thinking that this is what is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is a big allegory. Better not get into it. Till I came to this Krishna conscious movement. And then I studied Bhagavatam, the first purport of the first shloka. I was completely taken aback. Oh, this is Bhagavatam. That very first purport Prabhupada wrote, explaining what is Bhagavatam. Oh, this is Bhagavatam. All along I was thinking that this is some bunch of story which is of no use. But when Prabhupada wrote the purport to the first sloka, when I read that purport to the first sloka, of course I did not fully understand. Even now I have not understood the purport to the first sloka completely. But even with such less intelligence, I could understand that this is of substance, this is of something. This is something substantial. It could change my life. It could change people's lives. It could change the way people approach to spirituality. It could do that. It has the power, it has the potency. That's why Bhagavatam itself says, Satam prasangan mama virya samvidho bhavanti hrit rasayana kataha tajjoshanat asau apavargavartmani shraddharatir bhaktir anukrameshyati. That one should hear wonderful, glorious activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the association of pure devotees. Mama virya samvidho satam prasangan. When people like Prabhupada, when they explain the various pastimes of the Lord, then we should hear. We should hear very carefully. For example, it is given here dvāpara-ādau. And the straight meaning of dvāpara-ādau is beginning of Dvāpara-yuga. Then some logician may say, ha ha ha, you see, this is the fault, this is the beginning of Dvāpara-yuga, but we all know that Vyasadeva came in the end of Dvāpara-yuga. Ha 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 ha, I have found a mistake in Bhagavatam. Somebody may say like that. But then Jīva Gosvāmī explains that what is the meaning of dvāpara-ādau. With proper example, he has explained that how the word has been utilized. And Prabhupada has explained that. So now we know that how the word has been utilized. This is one simple example. And how words can be understood and how words can be misunderstood. Like for example, we will see in the 9th chapter, the Chatushloki, and Prabhupada is giving so much importance to one word of the first sloka, aham, eva sameva gre, nanyat yat sadasat param, paschadaham yetakcha, yo vashishyeta sosmyaham. So 3 times the word aham is coming in that sloka, and Prabhupada is giving so much importance to the explanation of that word aham, to establish that there is a predominating person and there is a predominated person. It's such a nice long explanation that just one purport which runs for pages is simply to remove the misconception of the word aham. Because these so-called Gyanis, they are actually not Gyanis, they don't have intelligence. But the so-called Gyanis, they claim to be Gyanis, they are using the word aham to mean self. That I created this world. You cannot even do anything properly. And you are thinking that you are the creator of this world. When the Lord is speaking, aham eva sameva gre, I was there before creation, the Jnani is thinking that he was there before creation. And he was the one from whom the whole creation came from. Such a stupid thought. Prabhupada says in one lecture that one person is claiming that he is God, and later he is having some toothache. And he is very painful. Prabhupada is asking, what kind of God you are? You are getting toothache. You cannot control your toothache, and you are claiming that you are God. So this is the position of Jnani. So therefore, we have to use our good fortune. How to use our good fortune? We have to use our good fortune by carefully studying Srila Prabhupada's books. Whatever means we may adopt to do that. Somebody may go through some formal course, somebody may study at home. Whatever means we adopt to do that. It doesn't matter. But definitely we should very carefully study Prabhupada's books. We should very carefully hear his lectures. And we have to very carefully we have to follow. What Prabhupada is saying to the extent we can, with open mind, without thinking, oh, this is not practical, oh, that's not practical, oh, this is what is possible, we may say that, okay, this is possible, that's possible, because we should understand that at our level, we can understand certain things, but beyond our level, we cannot understand. So first of all, we should accept our limitation. We should accept our limitation in our intelligence, in our understanding, in trying to understand what is practical and what is not practical, because before Prabhupada, everybody was saying, oh, it's not practical to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. It's all not practical. Prithvite Ache Nagaradigram means that within Bengal, something will happen. Or maximum outside Bengal, little Orissa, little Jharkhand, little Bihar, little Manipur. That's it. This is what Prithvite Ache Nagaradigram means. It doesn't mean the whole world and all. One should not take these things so seriously. But we know now, what does it mean? Even in this room, so many people are sitting from different country. Prabhupada made it happen. Nagaradigram, everywhere. Lord Chaitanya's name is being chanted. Once I went to Siberia, corner of the world, and I went to one town, completely different town, completely different type of people. There's no connection to what is Vedic culture, nothing. And suddenly you enter the temple and you see Gaurnita is dancing. The deities of dancing Gaurnitai. How it is possible that in one corner of the world, Gaurnita are dancing? Possible. When a Bhagavata, when he makes up his mind, it's possible. So, we are coming from the great parampara of making the impossible possible. So, we may feel, oh, it's impossible to develop love of Godhead. It's impossible to go back home, back to Godhead. Yes, it is impossible if we try. But if we simply depend on Prabhupada, what is impossible can become possible. What is impossible can become possible. So therefore, here Śukadeva Gosvāmī is giving us very good advice that we should hear Bhagavatam. He himself heard it, and he is confirming that even though I was liberated, still I became successful by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So he is advising Parīkṣit Maharaj and also all of us through the Parīkṣit Maharaj that we should also become successful by hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay, stop here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any questions, comments? Yes, Mati.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, thank you for your class. I have a question according to Jnanis. You said that they perceive themselves as gods, yeah? They feel, I'm God. It's not clear for me, because we know that we have Paramatma inside, and we have God is inside of us. So it's not so totally false, right? So could you explain, please, this position? In what terms it's wrong?
It's a very simple thing. A mother is conceiving a child. So the child is inside the womb of the mother. But child is a different entity from mother, no? Correct or no? So Paramatma is inside us. So that doesn't make us God. Just like the child is inside the mother, that doesn't make the mother the child. Correct, no? So physically there is one entity inside another entity. So one entity does not become another entity. There are two identities, right? There are two separate identities. That one is the identity of the child, the other is the identity of the mother. But the child is inside the mother, right? But still they are considered as two identities. They are not considered as one identity. Is it clear or not?
Yeah, but in some way they are connected, right? And
Correct.
the child
It's connect-
stays a part
Of course,
mother.
every identity is connected. You and me are also connected because you are sitting there, I am sitting here, and you are asking question, I am giving answer, or I am hearing, I am talking, you are listening. So that's also a connection. That doesn't make me you, right? Like there is one famous Mayavadi guru in my place. He said that the me in me is talking to the me in you, and the you in me, and the me in you is listening to this talking of me and you, which is actually me. Give me a break.
But in one
Relationship does not negate the individuality. Relationship enriches the individuality. Like a man is in relationship with a woman. Correct? It doesn't mean that the man has become the woman and the woman has become man. It simply enriches the relationship between them. Hopefully they will become husband and wife and not divorce. Right? So, relationship enriches the individuality, it does not negate the individuality. It's a very simple thing. It's a very, very simple thing. We are spiritual, but we are not God. See what aham brahmasmi means. Aham brahmasmi means that I am spiritual. That is true. I am not material, I am spiritual. I am also spiritual, God is also spiritual. So, in that way, there is some oneness is there. It's not that there is no oneness at all. Because if there is no oneness, there cannot be any rasa. Prabhupada explains this in the in the second verse of Srimad-Bhāgavatam. In order for the exchange of rasa to happen, there has to be similarity. Okay? Without similarity, there cannot be exchange of rasa. Like for example, a man cannot have a complete relationship with dog. Okay? Sometimes he thinks that dog is man's best friend, but that best friend dog also sometimes kills the man's mother. Okay? It happened recently in a case in India, that a man was having a dog in his house and the dog actually killed his own mother. He is supposed to be best friend, so he should not kill his mother. But why he killed his mother? Because dog cannot understand this relationship that, oh, he is my master, he is my master's mother, so I should be very loving with her. It doesn't understand. It simply goes by survival instinct. Whoever gives food, it is happy with them. Whoever doesn't give food and whoever make trouble, it's not happy with them. But one human being understands the relationship with another human being. Yeah. So therefore, some similarity is definitely required for exchange of rasa, and that similarity is that Krishna is also spiritual, I am also spiritual. In that sense, there is similarity. But the difference is that Krishna is God, I am a spirit soul. He is unlimited and I am limited. So one should appreciate both the oneness and the difference. If one simply sees the oneness, he is not very intelligent. If one simply sees the difference, he is also not very intelligent. In order to completely understand the principle of man and God, one should see both the oneness and the difference. Then he is intelligent. That is what Chaitanya Mahāprabhu gave us, Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. That we are simultaneously one and different from God. We are one in quality, but different in quantity. The Jnanis are seeing only the oneness of quality, that is their defect. Okay. Therefore, they become blind to the difference in quantity. And if they become blind to the difference in quantity, then they cannot have relationship. And because they don't have relationship, then their understanding is not complete. For want of relationship, they have to fall down. That's why they fall down. They fall down for want of relationship, because Atma's position, natural position is that he thrives in relationships. That's how Atma thrives. He thrives in the relationship between the Lord and himself, and that is his original relationship. And he thrives in that relationship. But when that is absent, then he can't survive for a long time. So therefore he has to fall down. Is it okay?
Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Okay, there.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for class. That you said that by knowledge we can't get supreme abode, right? Supreme personality. So Prabhupada, one of his lecture, Prabhupada said that by pure knowledge we can achieve the supreme personality of Godhead.
Correct.
So without devotional service, how is it possible that Jnanis also can get supreme personality of Godhead like about his? How is it?
Well, they think that they got, but they didn't get it. That's what that verse says. That it says Vimukta Maninaha. So they are thinking that they got it, but they didn't get it. They have to fall down again. That Krishna also says in Bhagavad-gītā, Bahunām janmanām ante jnanavān mam prapadyate Vāsudevas sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. So after many births, he will actually come in touch with pure devotee, and then he will purify his knowledge. He will become a pure devotee, and then he will go back to Godhead. So till the time he has to keep rotating. He will go up, come down, go up, come down. He will do so many things. Sometimes he will do social service and that and this and things like that. But when he gets to serve a pure devotee, then his good fortune will arise. But when his good fortune arises, that he will become a pure devotee very quickly, because he has no other defect. His only defect is that he has not understood the relationship between Krishna and himself. He has rest of all the things he has already cleared. He has no attachment to the material world. He has no material desire. He is not attracted by sin and piety. So he has cleared so many things. His only defect is that he doesn't understand Krishna. So when he comes in touch with a pure devotee, so quickly he will understand Krishna, and then he will become perfect.
So it's mean that without devotee and devotional service we can't achieve the supreme abode.
No, cannot.
Thank you.
Okay, we have time for one more question if it's there. Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. May I add some points, please?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam jad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatma iti bhagavan iti sabdyate. These jnanis, they do not understand there is a personality of Godhead. He has 2 legs, 2 hands, his father, mother, his activities. The jnanis, they have so much of knowledge, but they do not understand the value of Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. They have the impersonal feature of understanding, that is jnanis. That's it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Granth Srimad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.